We are in the middle of the IPL, but as you know, as most Indian cricket fans, all eyes are on the hectic season ahead because there'll be a few very crucial bilateral series followed by possibly an Asia Cup. And then remember, this is the World T20 year. So the T20 World Cup is also going to happen. What have we learned from the IPL and what lessons can India take going forward into this very crucial year? That's what we'll discuss with Mr. Sunil Gavaskar, who joins us live on this video. Sai, just looking at the performances of a lot of crucial Indian players in this IPL, the likes of Rohit Sharma, the likes of Virat Kohli, Ravindra Jadeja, they haven't been really, up to the high standards that they've set. As an well-wisher of Indian cricket, would you be worried at this moment, looking ahead at the T20 World Cup as well, looking at their form?
See, the T20 World Cup is months away. The T20 World Cup is in October. There are plenty of matches before that. India is playing a series against five T20 matches series against South Africa immediately, 10 days after the IPL finishes. And there are some T20 games in England. I think there is a white ball series, both T20s as well as one-day series against the West Indies. So there's plenty of time. There's also the Asia Cup. So there's plenty of time for all these players who are not in the best of touch to be able to get their form back and be ready for the World Cup in October.
So, so as far as the preparation for the T20 World Cup is concerned, you're not going to look at the IPL form. Do you think that it shouldn't be the criteria actually going forward, or do you think the bilateral series leading up to the T20 World Cup would be more crucial?
Look, we all know what these players are capable of. We've already seen them perform in the past. So right now, it's just a blip. That's just a dip in form at the moment. So I think the closer you get to the World Cup, they will have had that many more matches under their belt. They would have had the break that they might have wanted. Everything would be ready. And I do believe that when it comes to the World Cup in October, November, all three will be at their best.
When we are talking about players not in form, the two biggest names that come to your mind are Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, and we tend to club them together when we're looking at their current form. Do you also see them in a similar position, or do you think no, they're in completely different position when you're going to be looking at form, Rohit and Virat?
Both of them have been leading batsmen for their franchises, for whichever team that they've played. They've been the leading batsmen. And clearly, I think when they have not scored runs, people are going to say, hey, what's happening? But like I said, a dip in form can happen to anybody. And I'm an Indian. For me, them scoring or not scoring runs for their franchise doesn't really make a big difference. As far as I'm concerned, as long as they're scoring runs for India, I'm happy.
Do you, what I really wanted to know, Sai, do you think they're in the same boat as far as the form is concerned, or do you think no, they're both in slightly different position where they are with their batting at the moment?
I don't see any issues in terms of positions. I don't know what you mean exactly by position. Both of them have been scoring in the odd innings. They have scored runs, but they haven't been as consistent as we've known them to be. That's the only thing. They haven't produced the big scores, the impact scores that we see them season after season. And like I said, a dip in form can happen to anybody. So
Okay.
not to worry. As long as they score runs for India, I'm cool.
Right. Maybe my question wasn't clear, so I'll just try and really break down as to what probably the thought process was when I was saying they're both in probably different places. Just looking at from the outside, it does seem like that when Virat is getting out, there are times that he is probably finding it difficult to figure out the reasons why he may be getting out. In Rohit's case, you don't see that there is any issue with the bowling as such or any such glaring weakness. He may be playing a stroke too many, could be the reason why he's getting out. Is that the difference between the two, or no, we're reading too much into it?
You're reading too much into it. Just relax. Only worry when they don't score for India. This is all right. This is the IPL. Chalta hai.
Okay, so
let their franchises worry and their franchise followers worry. For us, we have to only worry when they don't score for India. Bas.
Okay, can that logic also be extended to the other names, as I mentioned, like the Ravindra Jadeja of the world, who are going to be very crucial for the Indian team going forward?
Yes, I think the same thing. Again, look, this game is sometimes can be such a game where it can put you right at the top, and the next day it can bring you down. You can score 99 runs, but you can't score that one run that gets you to 100. So sometimes, and sometimes you can bowl brilliantly and get 0 wickets, and you sometimes bowl half pitches, or you bowl full tosses and you still get wickets. So that's what this game is about. And so, like I said, this is franchise cricket where everything is rush, 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 rush. It's a bit of a frenetic game, and therefore there are sometimes things that can go wrong with your timing, whether it's bowling, whether it's your bat speed, everything. Like I said, this is franchise cricket. It's entertainment, really. Uh, for me, the Indian cricket matters more. So knowing how these guys have performed in the past, knowing their class, knowing their caliber, I'm not worried at all.
There's a lot of advice that comes from the outside when we hear, and a lot of them are very established cricketers giving advice. So we take it very seriously because they may have gone through ups and downs in their career as well. So advice, for example, for Virat that he must take a break, maybe, get rejuvenated, just think outside the game for some time, especially bubble life could be tough. So when he comes back, he may get a lot of runs. I know that what you have said also in the past is that, no, you'd rather have him play, at the moment. So I think the best decision could only be taken by Virat. He'd know exactly what is it that would be best for him. But if I was to put him in his place, and considering that you played international cricket for a long time, you may have had ups and downs too. Considering if you went for you found yourself in a dry patch, an extended dry patch, what would be the best approach that you would, as a batsman, take at the time? Rest or continue playing cricket?
Look, this is a format which I never played. So I don't know, because the situation is that in Test cricket it's a different approach. Your mindset is different. Your approach to batting is different. You leave a lot of balls at the start when the ball is moving around. The bowlers are fresh, so it's a different mindset altogether. So it's difficult to sort of put yourself in a position and say that this should be done, that should be done. My thinking is, let this all finish. Let the matches against South Africa start, and you'll see that everything is back in place.
Looking at a few positives now to have come out. One of them is, of course, Hardik Pandya, because again, as Indian fans, a lot of them are worried in terms of what his fitness is going to be like. Once, if he's fit, will he find form? He's shown that he is. I know he's not bowling at the moment, but he started the tournament bowling at almost at 140 clicks. Now with the bat, he's batting with a lot of maturity. How do you see? Is it really heartening to see going forward? As I said, very crucial year for someone like Hardik Pandya, who could be an X factor getting back into form.
Very exciting to see that, actually. Not just heartening, but also very exciting, because he's an exciting cricketer with the bat or with the ball, with the field, and the field is dynamite. So it's very exciting to see him back to his best. And I know there have been concerns recently that he hasn't bowled, but it's got, as far as I know, it's got nothing to do with the back. It's the groin injury that he's picked up, which is the reason why groin, you have to stretch when you're bowling, and maybe that's the reason why he's not bowling himself. Maybe the way he's captaining the team, he doesn't need to bowl. I mean, he's got bowlers at the other end who are doing the job for him. So the fact that his maturity every game as a captain, as a batsman, has been absolutely fantastic to see. The way he's handling the team, the way he's handling a situation where the team hasn't done well, and they've lost a couple of matches. When you're winning, everything looks hunky dory and stuff like that. But a couple of matches, the way he handled the post-match, immediately, not the later press conference, but immediately, after the game, when you're talking to the TV guys, the maturity with which he, handled the questions, it's all absolutely terrific to see. And just hoping that as the months go on towards the World Cup, he'll be 100% back to batting, bowling, and fielding.
The other one who's playing at 100% is Dinesh Karthik. You shared the commentary box with him recently. Any tips you gave him, and does it make you a little bit more wiser when you do commentary, look at the game from the outside, and then when you go and play, does it make you slightly better, look at or study the situation better?
Look, I spent a lot of time with him last year, because we spent time about 10, 12 days in quarantine in Belgrade, in Serbia, where we practically sort of Um spent almost 16, 18 hours together, eating lunch, dinner, breakfast, everything. And I got to see how keen he is to come back to the Indian team. He was keen to come back into the Indian team, make a comeback for the team that played in UAE last year. That didn't quite happen. It was perhaps a little too close because the IPL the IPL that time was didn't go all that well for him. But the way the IPL is going for him at the moment, I do believe that he should be very much in the running for the India spot in the October tournament. Maybe even earlier for the South Africa event, South Africa matches, England, whatever. I do believe that he certainly should be in the team.
Hmm. That's an interesting call, actually. Just like you, Simon, many people have said that he brings in that X factor as well. Is very exciting. Could be part of that Indian squad. But the other thing is that there is going to be a lot of competition for a lot of places. So, are you then looking at him in the squad? And I'm not talking about the 11 now because it's too early. Just looking at the squad per se, are you looking at him as purely as a batsman? Because there are already a couple of wicket keeper options. There'd be a Rishabh Pant who'd be there. There's also KL Rahul, who's now considered a wicket keeper batsman. He wasn't considered earlier. So with all that in mind, yet you'd look at someone like a DK as part of your squad.
Yeah, I would definitely look at him as an all rounder batsman who comes into bat at 6 or 7, and like he's been doing for RCB and taking the game away from the opposition.
Hmm. Finally, another exciting talent is Umran Malik. I spoke to you yesterday, and you said how exciting he was. There are also calls that draft him into the Indian team, saying that take him to Australia for the T20 World Cup. What do you make of that? Too early, or you think no, he's ready for that jump?
I think the more time he spends in the Indian change room, maybe not playing in the 11, but spending time with the likes of Bumrah, Mohammad Shami, Mohammad Siraj, and the senior players, like Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, is going to do him a world of good. It's going to do him a world of good because he will just grow in confidence, speaking and being in the company that he will be in, and that's only going to do fantastic things to his cricket. So I do believe that he should be in the squad. Maybe you might not play him. Maybe you might play him in the odd game where you might want to give a little bit of a breather to say a Bumrah or a Mohammad Shami. Maybe a team where you think it's not going to be as tough a competition as the other teams. There are always teams like that in your group. You might say, look, let us play against it. These guys don't play fast bowling well, so you might actually give him a go in that. But just spending time with these is going to be a great learning process for him. It's going to stand him in good stead for his future and for the future of Indian cricket as well.
Since we were talking about an Umran Malik, and you think it will do him a world of good to be part of that squad, at least being with those very senior fast bowlers. The others that will be around will also be the likes of Shami and Jasprit Bumrah. You may also look at an Umesh Yadav in that squad or a Harshal Patel. So plenty of options there. But then one name that crops up is also that of Arshdeep Singh. He's been doing consistently well at the IPL level in the T20 format. Does he also feature in that thought process, or does he come into the conversation when you're looking at those 5, 6 seam bowlers that will go for that October tournament?
Yes, he definitely does figure in the conversation. This time around, we've seen some fabulous left-hand prospects. There's Mohsin Khan, there's Mukesh Chowdhury, there's Yash from no, he's a batsman, isn't he? Yashdul from
yes, Yashdul is
no,
a
but there's
batsman. You're talking about Yash Dayal.
Yes, they are. So yes, I think so. Though these are some tremendous prospects as well. Maybe it's a little early for them. Arshdeep, because he's been around for the last couple of years, because he's now mastered the art of bowling the Yorker in the final overs. He would certainly be in the mix as well, and he brings the left-handedness to to the uh, to the attack. So adds a little bit more variety.
Right, Simon. Thank you so much for your thoughts. Of course, this is a very fluid situation as far as the Indian team is concerned. We'll keep having Simon join us, and probably we'd get a clearer picture once those bilateral series really start and we get to see the form of each of the players. But don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today for more such content. Thanks so much for watching.